Okay, just finished my morning meditation. 20 of my movement inputs before 11 a.m. before I head into the office to do a Zoom rehab eval and plan and train again, and then come home and train again. Maybe 30 to 40 movement inputs today. Pretty average day. All right. Something very, very important. It's come across with my Zoom evaluations and talking to people and just seeing it over 21 years. And it's a very important concept. So we keep hearing about dislocations, tears of meniscus, tears of cartilage, tears of ligaments, stress fractures, you name it. Like all these things that sound pretty catastrophic. Outside of falling off of a building or car accidents, stuff like that, just people participating in life activities, golf, walking down the street, sports, birthing, you name it, just their daily lives, the activities in their daily lives. The catastrophic stuff that we keep hearing about and a lot of people are afraid of, sadly, and this is where I want to bring to light that you don't really have to fear anything with this. If you hold yourself accountable and responsible, let me check that. But skiing, another activity, because it happens. Before the ligament explodes, or before the cartilage just gets ripped to shit, or before your meniscus tears, or before a bone breaks, assuming it's not a car accident or falling off of a building, the body warns you well before that moment. 100% of the cases I've seen in over 21 years of practice, 100% of them, they'd present torn ligaments, torn this, pretty catastrophic, gnarly shit. And you start talking to them and you ask them, did you have any pain prior to this? Did you have any tightness in the area prior to this? Did you have any previous injury to another area of the body prior to this? Did you have, oh yeah. I mean, yeah. My Achilles was tight for like 3 years and I kept getting Rolfing and massaging, and then all of a sudden the back of my calf just exploded. Okay. Or I had tendonitis in the joint for back when I was 12, and then the ligament in the elbow tore at 16, or I had some rigidity or tightness in the joint itself, and I've had that though for X number of years. But I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with this. Or I had a foot injury and then years later had a torn labrum in the hip that just all of a sudden exploded. 100% of the big deal shit that people are starting to pay attention to finally. And that's really what it is. 100% of them, the body tried way early on to get your attention. And it tries to get your attention with vocabulary words other than pain. And this is what I want to bring up. There's always the concept, the warning, the conversation, the relationship between you and body. And it tries to get your attention through sensations, feelings, emotions, symptoms. Everything that we have, I think there's 15 senses they measured, but it's infinite because the body's infinite. But it will use these sensations to get your attention, to let you know two choices. You stay away from the environment you keep putting it in, or you prepare to exceed the environment you keep putting it in. And if you listen to those warnings, and you listen and you have that conversation in a loving manner, and you say thank you, and you're like, fuck yeah, you're perfect, body. You're absolutely perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to get going on the work that I need to do to go ahead and put myself in a different position above what I'm expecting to do in life. And it will reward you with this, oh, hell yeah, you heard me? Thanks. Oh, shit, you're challenging me. God, here's more function, or here's more life, or here's more things that I'm going to attract to you that you can now handle. The exciting things in life. But that's where these catastrophic things can be completely avoided, but we have people now terrified to go skiing with their loved ones, or we have people terrified to go on a hike or to walk or to challenge themselves in some way or to continue things that they liked, bull riding, golfing, art, dancing, playing an instrument. We have fear in these things. It's like, I don't want to do that anymore because if I keep doing that, there's a chance I'm going to hurt myself. First of all, there's a chance that a bunch of shit happens, but hurt yourself is just an opportunity that if you play it right, that if you work with this perfection that you live in, called your body, that is never dysfunctional, that never attacks you, you can gain the ongoing infinite ability that is our ability to adapt. So injuries are not the worst thing. I actually look at them as wonderful opportunities. I've experienced 2 this year. They're fucking the craziest, awesomest things that, because I'm playing them how injuries should be played and how you should approach them, I'm now functioning better this year because of these 2. What a concept. But I want you to understand that the big stuff that we keep getting afraid of, the big stuff that we try to avoid at all costs, always is preceded by a beautiful conversation and these beautiful warnings prior to that. They'll label them with tendonitis, restless leg, frozen joint, sarcopenia, whatever the fuck, short legs, twisted spine, shifted, subluxated spine, all this bullshit that people have gotten you to think that they need to fix in you. It's just the body's adaptation process to your environment. And it will try to get your attention subtly at first. It's a nice, calm conversation initially. And if the body has to yell later on, it's going to grab you by the neck, choke you out, and tell you to change it, because if you don't change it, you're not going to survive. It knows this, and it wants only one thing: to survive, to stay here. Nerve pain. God, that's the big one. It's like, my God, this nerve pain is incredible. I know. It's like I can't walk when I have this nerve pain. What a brilliant concept that your body does not want you to go. It does not want you to go into the world. It does not want you to walk around, because it knows that if you do this, you have a really good chance of getting really fucked up. And so it doesn't have English. It doesn't have Espanol. It doesn't have all the other dialects. It has symptom and sensation and feelings to get your attention, to let you know you have to radically change everything about your life right now, or you're not going out that door, or you're not going out into the world outside the cave, because you're not going to make it. And I'd rather have you exist inside this cave, holed up with feeling this conversation with me yelling at you in a loving manner, than taking your chances out there, because it's not going to look pretty. So that's where I think, like, it's so beautiful. And Cassie, you can even go into the medical side, the deep dive, things outside the soft tissue injuries. The body will let you know well before the big stuff. And when you start to think of it that way, it's like, I have this check system. I have this system inside of me. If I'm really in tune with this and I really listen clearly, I mean, I can kind of go do anything I want. Yeah, that's what life's supposed to be about. You can go do anything that you're prepared to do. And if you're not prepared for it, the body will tell you. And you have options to change, because there's infinite levels of adaptation. There is no limit to the human, although we fight for those limits. We'll defend those limits, because as soon as we acknowledge that there might be a possibility that the body just wants to heal and adapt, then you're held accountable to another level. And a lot of people don't want to admit that. That's why they fight everything I'm saying. They'll fight everything Cassie's saying, because the second you admit that anything I'm saying is true, that means it's on you. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So don't fear life. Don't fear activity. Don't fear experiences. Don't fear your body. Don't fear possibility and potential. Just listen. Massive accountability and responsibility. Massive inputs in training and movement from toes to thumbs. listen to what's going on. It'll tell you. And then remodel, reintegrate, restructure, rewire, everything. Because it's always ready, willing, and ready to go to adapt to this life. Because that's the design. The body's only job is to adapt and thrive. That's all it wants to do. All right, I've got things to do. Say it with me.